All right, the last modeling step then is we need to have the bone, the model, follow more accurately the uh, the X-ray here. Now, I purposely didn't do any of this bending or angling because it's much easier to extrude and initially build from a very stiff symmetrical position. So what I'm going to do is select that object, and I'm going to move. First thing I'm going to do, actually, I probably have some history on here. See, I have all this history, so I'm going to say edit, delete by type history. I'm going to freeze its transformations and center its pivot. And now I'm actually going to move the pivot by holding the letter D, clicking on the X-axis arrow, and then holding the letter C and sliding, middle mouse sliding on that curve at the top there, and that snapped the pivot point to that curve. Now when I want to rotate, I can rotate this and get it to parallel pretty much that manubrium that I've indicated in the blue. And I need to move it back, and you notice right away I'm in world space, or my translate is working with the world axis X, Y, and Z perfectly perpendicular. If I double click my translate tool, I can change that to object, and now the axes are reflecting the object. And I'm going to move it just to get myself a little closer. So what I'm looking for more than anything is I want an edge. So I'm thinking that edge is basically where I want to end my manubrium. So I'm going to move, I'm going to move my whole object down one edge there. Okay. Like about that. All right. Then I'm going to use the lasso tool, select all the faces so I can surround them. And you notice it goes right across. Now I still didn't quite get that top set, so I'm going to hold this shift key. Okay, now I've got, again, this is the advantage of having these two windows open simultaneously. I can double check that I'm actually selecting things that I think I am. Okay, and let's get this orientated consistently. Okay, now I'm going to rotate this set, but again, my position is in the middle, so to fix that, hold the letter D, click on Y-axis, letter C, and then middle mouse drag on that curve, just where we wanted it to be. Okay, and now I can again use my color guide under there. So yeah, good, I'm in pretty good shape there. Okay, and one last collection we want to get is this xiphoid. Again, I'll go with the face, lasso, base, try to get these, oops, need one more, I think, row here. Let's see what I'm getting over here. I may have to use the, okay, I'll hold the, let me just use the shift key and add a couple of faces that I didn't get. So the lasso tool works like the direct select tool. It goes back into space infinitely. It follows whatever axis it perceives as perpendicular to the lasso and just picks everything up. Okay, so there's my xiphoid. I will again position my I'm gonna actually move it down. Whoops. There we go. See if I can do it one more time. Move the point up. Click the arrow and snap. Okay. Now I'm still holding the D key, and I'm just turning, kind of orientating the rotation axis so that it parallels that edge, so then I can just rotate these guys and then maybe grab, since those faces are still there, like to snap that over there and again move that into position. So now I'm trying to align the blue axis, the Z axis. I can just, whoops. Oh, I thought I locked my layer there. I'm sorry. We did that, but I didn't do it here. Yeah, I'm still moving my, let's try. Just moving this down a little bit by hand. Nope, that's not going to let me do it. Okay. Now I can't get my tool thing to show up. Okay, so I'm on object. Let's try to go to world here. There we go. And let me snap my, if I can. I'm just going to actually artificially move it down so I can snap it to that. And now I can kind of extend that a little bit. Okay, so now I've got a better approximation of what we see from the X-ray. Now I just want to look real quick to just get a feel. Does it look like it has enough, geometry here? Could it benefit? Or I like to go back to the #1 setting too to make sure there's nothing that's really extremely overlapping. Now the one thing I do need that I haven't, put in here yet, I'm going to turn off the X-ray for a second. I'm going to need a line, or an edge rather, straight down the middle of everything for when I get into 3D coat. So I'll get my insert edge loop tool here and pick pretty much right dead center. And you notice I didn't get one for my bottom because of that gap, so I'm going to do the same thing. And you'll see, I think, why later. But what ends up happening when I'm in 3D Code is I'm going to make this into something of a kind of like a cylinder. If I think of it more like a tube, like a sock with no top and no bottom. Piece of cloth cylinder, and then I can cut that cloth lengthwise and spread it open. And I need a seam in the middle for me to do that. Okay, so that's why I put that edge there. I could add just a couple more edges just in places to kind of give it a little more evenly spaced. It's a little long here, for example. So I'm just trying to see if I can't get the edges spaced out evenly, because that will distribute the patterns and the colors the best. So I want to move this edge up, and I'm going to use this thing called slide edge under the mesh tool. And what it lets me do is middle mouse That doesn't work very well sometimes. Come on. Well, I guess it's not going to let me do it, so I'll just do it myself. What it's supposed to do is move that edge or slide it up there so you're not distorting the shape. You're still maintaining that shape. And I'm just making this a little wider because it tends to get a little wider down to this end. Okay. So again, now I'm not that far away from the shape, but I'm not by any means thick with polygons or dense. As a matter of fact, you can, and you'll have people talk about this where they will say, I think there's a display here. I'm sorry, I found what I was looking for. It's under display, but it's under heads up display. And what I wanted to show you was you can actually have a polygon count. So you can see here that we have 4,320 faces in this model. Okay, so we'll look at that later when we come back from Mudbox and see how Mudbox affects that.